So LeBron James' agent, Rich Paul, made headlines earlier this week when he suggested on his podcast that the Lakers trade Austin Reaves for Grizzlies All-Star Jaren Jackson Jr. But after last night's Lakers win, LeBron tried to distance himself from his agent's comments. James told ESPN in his way out of Crypto.com Arena this, quote, I think you all know by now, Rich is his own man, and what Rich says is not a direct reflection of me and how I feel. And I hope people know that. I hope people know that. And if they're not sensible to know that, then I don't know what to tell them, end quote. Are you buying what LeBron James is saying?
Yes, because I know Rich Paul, but nobody else is. Most people are not. I shouldn't say nobody else, but most people are not. And that's why this story gets very, very interesting, because when you think about Rich Paul, somebody that I've come to know throughout the years who's doing an outstanding job as an agent, a lot of other guys, I got a lot of love for a lot of other guys in the industry, especially the Bill Duffys of the world, the Goodwin twins, Aaron and Eric Goodwin, and a whole bunch of others. But the point is that when you think about Rich Paul and his ascension, give respect and deference where he's due. He's a good brother. He's doing great things, and he's going to continue to do great things. But he has to accept something, okay? You have a podcast now as an agent. Now, you ain't some rookie that just arrived, Swagoo. You've been in this game a while. I'm talking about Rich Paul. You've made deals. You've influenced deals being made. You've been accused of influencing deals that have been made. And we all know you're attached at the hip to LeBron James. So when you say something about something that directly impacts LeBron James, that is going to be the assumption, whether fair or unfair. And Rich Paul is entirely too smart not to know that. Austin Reaves is a teammate of LeBron James who has ascended and is averaging 26 a game. They both wear the purple and gold. This is LeBron. Remember, he picked up the player option. Wasn't like the Lakers was offering some long-term deal for LeBron James. Picked up the player option, over $52 million. A lot of people is expecting this to be his last year in L.A. You want to go for it. Austin Reaves is balling, all right? When healthy. Luka Doncic's averaging over 33 a game, 35 a game, right? LeBron is getting into his groove, almost had a 31-point triple-double last night. But you're looking at some of the deficiencies of the Los Angeles Lakers, and you're saying they ain't beating Denver. They ain't beating OKC. They probably ain't beating San Antonio. Okay, what they gonna do? And then Rich Paul comes to somebody's name like Jaren Jackson. From a basketball standpoint, one could argue it makes sense, but the point is, saying something like that, Austin Reaves would be gone. That would benefit LeBron James, who'd have the ball in his hands even more, and we're supposed to ignore that? Now, again, LeBron's not lying. Rich can be his own man. Trust me, Rich has his own opinions, okay? He thinks for himself. Respect that man. The flip side to it, however, is that there's also a history with LeBron James directly or indirectly influencing team moves and using media, podcasts, and other forms of media to do it. That's a fact. And when that's the reality, you got to know, if you're Rich Paul, and when you open your mouth, the assumption is, oh, this is something that LeBron James is feeling. Rich Paul is speaking for it. I'm not saying that's true in this case. You know, I know Rich Paul well enough to know that Rich Paul speaks for himself. But I also know how attached he is to LeBron and how he will speak for LeBron all day, every day. Won't say, he'll tell LeBron if he's wrong now. He'll tell LeBron if he's wrong. He'll speak privately, but he's always going to ride with LeBron, even if he disagrees with them, which I respect. But you got to understand, there's no way. Again, I think he might be telling the truth in this situation. LeBron is right, is what he's saying. I just need them to understand very few people are going to believe that Rich Paul opened his mouth and said that, and LeBron James said nothing about it, didn't express anything about it, doesn't share that sentiment. Very few people are going to believe that.
Swag, you agree?
Stephen A., I'm in agreement with you that I don't think LeBron is lying. But to your point, man, Rich got to know that when you make a statement like that, it's like coming from your house, right? Like we got a certain group of people that live in the house. If a person in the world knows that these people live in the house and somebody insinuates something about the house changing, it's going to be obviously something that people think the house has talked about. So that guilty by association in this particular case is what LeBron is obviously dismissing, but Rich and LeBron knows that things that happen between them and the Lakers, if it comes out of each one of their mouths, is going to be associated with something that they even thought about or something that maybe have been thrown around. And again, like when you think about where LeBron is in his career, you think about JJ Redick coming out and talking about this team from a defensive standpoint. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen A. Jaren Jackson is regarded as one of the better defenders in the league.
Yes,
obviously,
correct.
has been Defensive Player of the Year, right? Before,
Yeah, I believe so.
In the NBA. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But again, when you have Rich Paul, LeBron's best friend, LeBron's agent, come out and say something like that, and you tie that in with the coach talking about the defensive deficiencies that this team has had earlier in the year, and maybe now. I haven't been so caught up on the NBA because we're in the NFL and the playoffs, but ultimately, this is about the house. And I have this conversation with my family a number of times, right? I got kids that's in sports. I have my wife was a former athlete. My mom lives with us. How we represent each other in public matters. Yeah. People are going to disseminate from that. And that's a conversation that we have, whether that be how we compete, whether that be how we carry ourselves outside of the house. And I think a lot of times people are going to come away with an opinion based on one person if they know they dwell in their house. So this is not some figment of anybody's imagination. This is not something that should be off-putting. LeBron shouldn't be mad about it. He should understand that because Rich Paul made a statement like that in their relationship, that people are going to disseminate this message in this way. Even though I'm with you, Stephen A., I believe it to be true that LeBron has nothing to do with that statement that was made.
Podcasts are loose. It's when you open up. It's when you say things. So Rich Paul kicking back and like throwing something against the wall that directly impacts the Lakers makes it feel like it's been true. It's been said. Or maybe he at least has thought and is going to present it.
I will say this.
And it's not just anybody saying it.
That's right. It's Rich Paul. I will say this respectfully. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people inside the agent industry and outside the NBA industry, outside the agent industry, but in the NBA, who believe Rich Paul nor any agent has any business doing a podcast. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm like, look, you know how to watch what you say, stuff like that. But there's a whole bunch of people that believes, especially somebody as influential as him, who wheels and deals and is getting deals done and is making things happen, have no business doing a podcast. In fairness to him, there were a whole bunch of people who believe that LeBron James had no business doing a podcast. Obviously, that led to, Darvin Ham being let go by the Lakers and J.J. Redick ultimately landing that job. Nobody just has said much about it because J.J. Redick has proven himself to be one hell of a coach that is doing his thing. And by the way, who has everybody appreciating his candor about his team and what he sees from it. So that story has died down because J.J. Redick has proven to be terrific. But you have a lot of people that feel that way about folks with the podcast.
Rich Paul's a different kind of celebrity. Yes. He's a different kind of agent.
Yes, he is.
A different type of celebrity along with him.
I don't have a problem with him doing the podcast.
Coming up on First Take, Indiana and Miami. They were long shots to get to the national championship game back when the season began. So which team has the better story as we reflect back and look ahead to Monday night? We'll tell you next.
First Take heads to Miami as the national championship game is about to kick off. It's the Hoosiers versus the Hurricanes. Catch Shea, Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, your boy Stephen A., and maybe a surprise guest or two live from outside Hard Rock Stadium. Will Indiana take the throne, or will it officially be the return of the U? Don't miss First Take live Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern.